Let's take a look today at how we are actually participating now more and more in this planetary ascension process. Planetary ascension process it was never going to be easy. I remember coming here and how I was told it was not going to be easy, but it was going to be possible. And so I don't know how much everyone remembers, but we all basically agreed to be here to do the same thing. And that is lifting really first our own consciousness into the light. And it's really the light of the heart. And so every mystery has to boil down back to the heart. There is no other way. And we had so many mystics trying to explain this. And I think very often these teachings get misunderstood. But actually it is like a physical condition that is necessary, an open heart. And it's not just the open heart chakra. That is another layer. There is something hidden behind the chakra itself. And that is what I call the sacred heart, the innocent heart. The innocent heart that really Jesus spoke about as well. And that is our portal. And that portal leads us instantaneously out of needs. Who opens the portal goes outside of their needs. Suddenly you realize you are free from all needs. It's a very strange shift for a human being to realize that there is nothing in this world that you need to be complete. There is nothing in this world that you need that could make you better. The only thing that can make us great again is our open, sacred, innocent heart. Who discovers the sacred, innocent heart probably will try to tell everyone about it. And yet it's not something that can be told. It's like the Tao. We can talk about it as much as we want. But actually it's unimaginable for those who haven't gotten in touch with their sacred heart. It is not a feeling of just love. It is not a feeling of just feeling really good. It is not just a feeling of feeling blissful. Who discovers really through whatever practice you do, when you get into the sacred heart, you discover the greatest mystery within yourself. It is beyond anything anyone can explain to us. How is the sacred heart so hidden? And why is it hidden at all? Well, we have to go back to what, is called the fall from grace. It is when we disconnected from Divine Mother. We disconnected from the sacred heart, and then we stopped flowing in cosmic abundance. And since that time, we have been needing stuff. And since that time, humanity misunderstood reality. Isn't that incredible? And it's all coming to an amazing, ecstatic change. Maybe the end, but definitely a new beginning. So yesterday we listened to our beautiful Thich Nhat Hanh, The End of Suffering. All suffering is the result of the closed sacred heart. It's unbelievable. Okay, I see the question about the Aleister Crowley. I think nothing about him, know nothing about him. The only thing that I love is the Thoth deck that was actually created by his girlfriend, Lady Frida. And she did a great job. Whatever he did, I don't care so much about, but what she did is amazing. So I connect with the Thoth tarot deck, and not explained by Aleister Crowley either, but actually by the German mystic Gerd Ziegler that I mentioned, who wrote a beautiful book, and not just one, he wrote many, and all of them are amazing. The thing is also, when you open the sacred heart, you get access to the mystery. And all the practices that you find across all the different traditions, and also, I guess, religions and mystical science, it's always about how do we open this sacred heart? How do we go through the transformation? How do we reactivate the tree of life within us? When the tree of life within us is reactivated, we, of course, again, create the rainbow body. So it's just one huge teaching. It's incredible. Right now, this is surrounding the earth. Thank you so much. It is surrounding the earth more and more and more. This is really the light of God. And the light of God is always emanated through the suns in creation. And I don't mean sun like daughter and son, but the suns. Each sun is the illuminator of a big world. And then you have many suns that come together to create even a bigger world. So for us, working with our physical sun, it's really the first condition. How can we not? Let's go back to the worship of the sun, really, where every morning we connect with these beautiful codes that come to us. If you can see the codes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They are visible through the third eye. Sometimes it's just so wonderful to do sun gazing early in the morning when the sun is safe to, gaze at. And your pineal gland is automatically receiving codes. Every day it can be new codes, but we want to be coded by the sun because this is what's happening on planet Earth. The Earth herself is being changed by these celestial fires. This is a celestial fire right now, little by little. But we are in the month of November, which means really not much when it comes to the calendar. But what it means that now we have an accumulation of incredible planetary, solar, universal, galactic, cosmic cycles. So that's huge. So how do we open up to this? We need to be open up. That's why I'm doing acupuncture, So when there is nothing wrong with you, definitely go and have some acupuncture done. Open up all the channels. Just ask them to open you up. Because the more open up we are, the better it gets. That's what Patricia talks about. In the end, the openness really does come through the open sacred heart. So once we open the sacred heart, the openness is just natural. We are returning to our natural state of being in which we are fully mimicking nature. Mimicking nature. This entire ascension process, some people call it organic ascension. And I say that's definitely what it is. It is a natural ascension. It was very unnatural for our planet not to be evolving with the rest of the system. We were stuck behind every time. And every time these amazing planetary, solar, universal, galactic, cosmic cycles came, and they invited every planet within the system to go higher into transcendence, the Earth could not make it because of humanity's unconsciousness. When many people are in unconsciousness, if you expose them to these higher frequencies of divine light, they would burn to dust. And we don't want that. It's too much. We want people to evolve, be prepared, be able to handle it. So as we meditate, as we work with Orin, as we do all the other work that we do, as we do the breathing exercises, we are always preparing to be able to go higher and higher and higher with our not only consciousness, but also with our entire energy body. Our energy body, many of you know as your light body, many of you see also as your rainbow body. There are many different levels. Now, I activated my rainbow body through the work with Divine Mother. And I actually just used that song she sang through me that one day, which was, you become her fruit, you become her apple. And even though it's super simple, it takes 9 minutes, it activates this amazing rainbow light within us. So it's on the YouTube. But I activated my light body with the work with Orin and Daben. And so soon we will speak about, for those of you who are interested, to take the journey. When I do the private sessions, I know that some of you already have done a little bit of the work with the light body with Daben, but maybe didn't finish it. So I want to say it's something that has to be finished. Otherwise, there's really no point in doing it because it's building a structure. It's like building a house, but not putting the roof on top. So the light body has many different layers and levels, and they all need to be activated so that you can fully awaken this amazingness within you. And it actually works 100%. So layer by layer by layer, you can activate higher and higher centers of your consciousness to actually create amazing structure of light around yourself. So again, we'll talk about it soon because I think it's really incredible. The light body, actually, it's a lot of work to activate it. And it really is, it really depends. Some people have a little bit of time. Some people have a lot of time. Some people are really passionate about it. Some people just like it. But for the light body, it's so advanced that it takes a commitment. It takes about 6 months of work every single day. At least that's how I did it with my friends. And so, you want to build a house and build it fast and make it solid. And so it's definitely an amazing work. But we'll get to this. I want to say what's happening on planet Earth right now. So we are receiving so much plasma, so much light from all these sources. Divine Mother always talks about the opening within cosmos. So she says, when you have many different keyholes, imagine like the old keyholes when the keys were like these big iron or, keys. I don't know if any of you saw them. So I remember from childhood, we still had these. Yes, thank you, Romina. That's exactly what I mean. So when you have these big keyholes, they could be in random places, not random, but they could be in different places in, let's say, the solar system, the planetary system, and cosmos. But what happens when you bring them all into alignment? Suddenly, if you have all the keyholes aligned with each other, what happens? Magic happens. Suddenly, let's say we have 12 keyholes aligned with each other. Now, what it does is that it suddenly gives us energy and that can flow to us that before could not flow to us. And so we can go to much, 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 much higher places in terms of our consciousness, multidimensionality, connection with Divine Mother, because connection with Divine Mother is possible for all of us now like never before. And so that's what we are preparing for. We are building ourselves up to be able to receive all of it. So Patricia, if you got the email from her, then she recommends doing the quantum pause breathing, which is really our natural way of breathing. It's not something we force, but we have to remember it. And that means we just simply inhale, maybe on the count of 4 or 5. And we take a slight little pause, 4 or 5. Then we exhale on the count of 4 or 5. We hold slightly. And then again, we continue this. And so she repeats it 7 times, for example. And this time she's suggesting that we internally say, I am working with the celestial opportunities. Celestial opportunities. And these celestial opportunities are exactly these cycles that we speak about. Because these are celestial opportunities. And that means you are ready. And you are consciously taking it in. That's amazing. And so again, we'll be preparing for all of this. This is going to be a huge crescendo on November 9th, and then we have November 11th. So very big changes. And again, we always want to be prepared for changes. And why is that? When we ignore the opportunities, it's like putting yourself out there into nature, and you are a full cup, so nothing can come into you. But if you empty your cup and put yourself out there in cosmic Mother Nature, because this is starlight, this is sunlight, this is planetary light, and you put your empty cup, empty of the personality self, empty of the burdens, empty of the blockages, empty of all those lower energies. When you put yourself out into nature as an empty cup, you can fully be fulfilled and filled up with these amazing new energies. So it's about how much do we dare to surrender? How much do we dare to let go? How much do we dare to open up in love? And how willing are we to actually let go of the old self, and even the self that maybe we already called spiritual self, but to experience something so new, so different, maybe beyond even those ideas. It's pretty incredible what's going to happen and what's happening really. You're feeling it today. Of course, it's really here. So how do we go through this process? Number one, Orin. If you love working with Orin, I'm going to recommend the tools. So we are still working with cosmic abundance, but today we'll take it to the next level. We're going to be working with the divine self. As you know, the divine self is really the key. Divine self is your rainbow light. This ascension process is a return of innocence. And it is the return of the mother. And it is us loving her again, saying, I have healed my heart. I've opened my heart. I moved beyond the illusion of this reality, which was an illusion, but we are still in it. It's amazing. So much to be actually said about what's going on. We are stepping into our rainbow light. That is our divine self. So for those of you who love working with Orin more than ever, all these albums are $89. So they all have 12 journeys. Every day, if you can increase your inner light, how amazing is that? Sometimes we have some shadows around us, and this can be very old shadows. Sometimes we have blockages around us. Sometimes we have energies that simply do not serve us at all, but we carry them with us. Well, if we increase our inner light, we burn all of it in the light of the divine self. Now, many of you work with the violet flame. What an amazing way to actually then even make more room for your light and then keep expanding it. Another one that I really recommend is accelerating your evolution. Because that, every time you sit down in meditation, you are saying yes to your divine self. You are saying yes to your sacred heart. You are showing your amazing commitment. And again, response comes. So that's another one that I recommend. I don't think I've ever really spoken about this one, but this is my third favorite. So I have my favorites. I just bought a new one today that I'm going to start working with, but that one is for those who already activated their light body. So that's why activating the light body is actually very useful, because then you can use advanced tools. But this one is still within, when the light body doesn't have to be activated. And we'll use that one today. We're going to use the first journey of actually deeply, deeply, deeply connected with your divine self, connecting. And then tomorrow we will tap into the infinite abundance of the divine self. It's going to be incredible. And so Orin created many different albums, as you know, courses. I don't want to call it albums, courses, taking you step by step through this mystery. And so everything is like a pyramid. You always build the next layer, the next layer, the next layer, because you want to be so solid in your light. And so this one is amazing. Look at this one. It is the path of self-realization. So, which to start with? So I say, follow whatever you love the most. But these are the ones that I love the most. I love increasing the inner light. I just love it because you bring light into your home. You bring light into everyone around you. And then you work on the larger scale where you bring light into, your town and the country and so on and so on. So it's really amazing. It's like magic. So for those of you who work with magic, this is magic. And then accelerating your evolution is simply, saying, I want more of my highest self. And that's it. Because, you want to absolutely go beyond any limitation to a point where you have no limitation within yourself and you've surrendered fully and completely and you are fearless. As long as we have fear, as you know, it means we still haven't surrendered fully to the divine, but that's the process humanity will have to go through. And I don't know if have to go through, but we are going through the process. If there is a virus in this world, it is fear. And that has been the thing that has been really preventing us from opening up fully to the divine light. And now we are invited to open up fully to the divine light. So when we lived in this illusion, which was created through unconsciousness, all what was actually created through unconsciousness, we can call illusion, because that is not the true light. True light is the light of the divine self. Everything created through the light of the divine self can be called real. And so all that was not created through light is something that might have existed in this world. It is here, but it is a reflection of a distortion. And so for all of you who awaken to your divine self, you also get the power to transmute all that is around you that might not be real. And that's why we step into Christ consciousness. And within Christ consciousness, fear doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It just does not exist. Everyone who steps into that Christ self will realize that there's only love. It's really incredible. And again, it's very, it's very simple, and yet also not so simple when we talk about it, but it is within the sacred heart. When you activate the sacred heart, it's there. It's like, you become it. That's it. Very nice. And then also I wanted to share like my journey with Oren. What really, takes you to the next level is of course working with your divine self. So today we'll get a taste of this beautiful work, and work that I so much enjoyed. And I did this every day for many months. I love this. Was transforming your life with the divine will. So that's just my recommendations, because when you go to orendaben.com, there are so many different courses. But this one is so beautiful because you connect with the divine will. And one day I was, communicating with Source, and Source just repeated to me, not my will, but thy will. So there is this divine will. And when we know the divine will, we can align with it, bring it in, soak it in, and really work with every aspect of divine will. It's pretty amazing. So that would be just my recommendation for Oren. I meditated so much, and one day, suddenly, the shift comes. Meditation is layer by layer by layer. And sometimes you just become so ecstatic through meditation, which I think many of you experience, that the ecstasy from within breaks you open in a good way. So, good. So many questions, so many things to speak about, but our goal right now will be, let us align with the amazing opportunity. And here is a beautiful picture of it, really, the light coming in. And I know that, some of these were recorded a really long time ago. There are recordings. I'm going to play to you a recording which is very unique. It actually will be not Oren, but it will be Sanaya speaking for 4 minutes. And this was recorded in 2015 during a live event. And this is really fascinating. In 2015, humanity really didn't have access to divine self. Nothing like what we have today. It was really something we had to search for and build a bridge to. So this is from 2015, and now we have the divine self right here, right now. So it's going to be very fascinating to see what Sanaya said in 2015 about the divine self. She called it building the rainbow bridge. So I'll play that. This is from a live workshop, which was for the Light Body graduates, and it was called Illumination and Awakening Your Higher Mind.
Okay, I wanted to talk for a few minutes before the next journey. The next journey that Oren's going to do is really a key process, and we will repeat it. And it's the process of building the rainbow bridge from the soul to the divine self. Now, all of you have been doing a lot of work with your soul over the years, over and over, connecting with your soul. And you've been building that bridge from your personality to your soul. And we have done a lot of journeys to the monad, the spirit, the higher self. We're going to do it more scientifically, because this will is the light on the mind that does things concisely, with clarity, scientifically, step by step. And the light of the will that we're working with, the will to act, is that which brings the light to the rational, concrete mind that helps you see what steps to take in your daily life and in ordinary reality. The rainbow bridge, I'm sure you've all heard about it, technically called the Anna Karana, is the bridge of light that we as a personality must build to get out of here. It said there's 7 streams. Well, when fully built, It provides a way out of incarnation by means of which the enlightened humans leave this plane. The will to act is called the will of liberation through ascension or death. The way we leave is either we die or we ascend. And it offers us the quality of illumination to take the next initiations and to liberate ourselves. So it's a very, very powerful quality of will. There's said that there's 7 streams of energy that must be built on the Rainbow Bridge, one for each quality of divine will. This is the will that unites the 3 minds, the divine mind, and I call that the mind of the all that is, the infinite mind, universal mind, divine mind, with our higher mind, which is really the blueprint upon which our rational mind is built, just like we have an etheric body that's the blueprint of our physical body. And when you worked on that, the lines of light and connecting them with your mental body, that was working with your higher mind and linking it to your rational mind. So we've done some of the downward flow. Now we're going to take more of our consciousness up and build the upward flow. And we're going to do it with the thought of the 3 minds unite and the energy of the will to act with us. So we'll build that strand on the 5th ray. And I've been doing this over and over for months now, and the amount of consciousness that comes back is unbelievable. It's almost sometimes it'll be hours later, and I'll just have these insights that will start unfolding. Usually, when you're doing something that you're not even prepared for, like waking up in the morning or taking a shower, or it can happen right as you do it. You can feel this immense energy come back. Usually has a feeling of a shift with it. One thing I noticed the more I did this was how many light body skills I found I was able to use. And you might find just spontaneously you're holding multiple perspectives, or you're out in your beginning self-exciting. And if you get too far self-exciting, it's hard to hold on to the rational mind. But some of the beginning self-exciting states, some of the expanding consciousness states, a lot of what we're doing today, I call the Orans building consciousness. What we just did with the illumination and the soul, what we're going to do in the next 2 journeys are processes to bring more consciousness to us, to reorder our mental substance of our mental body. This is the work that must be done by the personality. The soul can't do it for us, neither can the divine self. It's our work to become the soul in incarnation and then have a direct link to our divine self. This is one analogy I like is this bridge to our divine self is like the spider that has to send the web out and then walk across it. We have to send those strands of consciousness either up or out, however you want, to the divine self, and then we travel across that strand to claim the consciousness of the divine self as ours. And every time you build another strand, there's more there of the divine self that can come through to you.
So this was such a great explanation of what it is that we are doing. Even when we are really working with, cosmic abundance, we are building our connection to our divine self. So this is hopefully so inspiring. So, and also, it explains what it is we're doing. That's why we are changing. We are changing so much. Everything about us can be completely transformed. And that's exciting. So again, there's nothing to hold on to except surrender to the divine self. And when we surrender to the divine self, we've surrendered to Divine Mother. We surrendered to Source. It's amazing. And then, of course, we have to let go of all fear, because there is no fear when we surrender. You can only surrender in fearlessness. That's why the shamans of ancient Mexico, they describe it as a free fall, because it feels like we are free falling into the arms of the unknown. But the mystery catches us, and then we just fall in love. So let us meditate. Wow, we are taking this work to a whole new level of being. And I think this is all supported, of course, by what's happening on planet Earth and how the Earth herself is going into more and more light. So, as we move into more galactic light, this is exactly what's happening. We are moving physically into more light. That means the best thing we can do is learn how to surrender. And surrendering to our divine self, what an amazing way to uncover who you truly are. Really, there is very little to hold on to when it comes to what we have known, because what we have known is only the result of distortion, even our personality self. Right now is the time to surrender. Let it all go. We are also learning how to die in this world. We are learning to do that. This is also a very important point to bring up, because as we spoke about the process of death, the best, I would say, the 4 steps that we have, relax, let go, trust, and surrender, are also great steps to follow when the time comes to leave this physical reality. And that's not always, how this goes. And so we are learning. It is called the death of ego, and sometimes it is the final departure. But let us practice what that means: relaxing, letting go, trusting, and surrendering, going into bliss. Going into bliss requires letting go. It really does. Whatever it is, sometimes fear, letting go, trusting, it always comes back to love. So living in surrender and living in love is going to be the new way to live. And we are learning to be fearless, completely fearless. Fearless in the face of anything and everything, And that's really the next level of our being. Being like Neo in the Matrix, who represented the Christ, stopping the bullets with the power of your divine self. Complete fearlessness, stillness. It's amazing. So what we will do is we will just follow the bliss that is expanding on planet Earth. We will make ourselves free, which is working with our divine self. The divine self is the ultimate giver of all the good things, and it only is much easier. So I don't know when Sanaya recorded this course, but again, the divine self right now is right here, right now with you, and we are just tapping into this beautiful rainbow, sacred, majestic circle of 12. And you see the 4 corners of the heart, the sacred heart within. And that's the place we are all searching for, the 4 corners of the heart within. So for those of you who might be interested in doing the light body work, you will be activating the 4 corners within. It's one of the light body centers. And again, I'll speak about it soon. But right now, what can we do? What can we do to be in the highest state that we can possibly be in? Trust me, all the stories we remember in this lifetime, what happened in childhood, what happened in relationships, what we liked, disliked, it is okay to let go. It's really, truly okay to let go, because none of those stories are going to make it with us. They will be left behind. The only thing that will stay is the love that we created and the love that we participated in. It is going to be the only thing we're going to take with us, that love. And so everything else will actually dissolve. So it's okay to let go now. And that's why we can go through the process of letting go as the ultimate. So love is definitely going to be the only reality that will actually exist. And with that, it's okay to also let go of any judgment we still might have and be so incredibly loving that the love of you dissolves all imperfections around you. That is the Christ self, again, becoming very available to all of us. And so hopefully the next few days, as we build up in consciousness and liberation for November 8th, when we have such a big day, on November 8th, so I only have time in the morning, we'll be at Mount Shasta and then departing from Mount Shasta, so we can only do one event on November 8th again. And also today, there is no repetition. But on November 8th, we will go through the most sacred of the sacred processes. We'll do breathing. We'll do invocation. We'll do more breathing. We'll do more invocation. And then we will surrender. It's going to be the surrender to divine self. There is a process. And Divine Mother is going to guide us through it. So rainbow body activation. The rainbow body used to be depicted as a 7-color rainbow, but that is also no longer so. A lot of things have changed recently. And so right now we are working with a 12-colored rainbow, which is our 5th dimensional really body. And so again, we are just returning to our wholeness, returning to innocence. And so the innocent child within is the one who's going to become truly alive. And that innocent child within that we all have, it's going to be really magical. And again, that innocent child within causes no harm to any part of life, but it loves all life. And so this is the mystical process that is unfolding here for us. So thank you so much for being here today. And again, tomorrow we will be tapping into the infinite abundance of the divine self. Work with your divine self as much as you can, as your best friend right now. Again, I do recommend, absolutely, I always recommend Oren and Ben. So once again, these are my 3 favorite ones: increasing your inner light, accelerating your evolution, and of course, birthing a new you, because it's time to birth the new us fully and completely into liberation and into bliss. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.